So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I was caught off guard there because we were massive on the screen. I don't know what I went wrong there. It didn't seem to resize. It's bad enough having us small as opposed to having us big on the screen. That was a big shock to the system there, seeing all the humps and hollows in my nose. But anyway, besides the point, how are you doing, Paddy? We're here for the Everton team sheet tantrum, an early one today. But what's the feeling like for today's game?
Very early, had to kick my better half out of her office in order to do this in a quiet place, so she can deal with the kitchen table for once. But there you have it.
Needs must, yeah. For the greater good of Aston, for the football club, you've commandeered the office, exactly. So that's good. Exactly. That's good.
You asked me how I'm feeling. I'm really excited. Feels a bit like Christmas Eve here, waiting to find out that Jack is going to be on the bench tonight. Yeah, and he will be on the bench. I know he's going to be on the bench. So, looking forward to the team announcement.
So am I. This is one of the more giddy kind of team announcements I've been for the team announcement, should I say? Because we're going to see, like, in fairness, call a spade a shovel here, that Dean Smith doesn't mix it up that much, and when he does, it's maybe in the midfield region. So, like, we're going to actually see genuine change up front here now today, and I think we're all just waiting on bated breath to see if it's going to be Keenan Davis or if he throws one from left field, you know, with regards to who he plays up front.
Someone said to me earlier there's a possibility he could play Barkley up there, which I was a bit shocked by.
Could you imagine the absolute the meltdown? Oh my god!
Yeah, I honestly I don't think so. I think he will play Barkley, but it'll be in behind. It'll be in behind Keenan. But I had a good, like, there was a lot of merit in what he was saying, but no, I think Barkley being behind Davis, or as you say, I think we'll turn off Twitter between now and kickoff.
Yeah. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine it would go down too well if that was the situation, to be honest with you. But look, stranger things have happened, and it is, look, as I say, it's all to be written now, and Dean Smith is the only one who knows who's going to be. Well, I presume the players know who's going to be playing as well today. But if Ross Barkley is playing up front, I don't know what would happen. Could be masterstroke. Who are we?
You never know.
Excellent. We've got Matt Hayes from the Tottenham blog is in here tonight. We're an equal opportunities streamer. We love fans from other teams coming in, especially when we can do them a favor and beat Everton. So that maybe Spurs can climb a small bit higher. But who knows? We beat Everton. Maybe you might have to be worrying about us, Matt, especially when we've got you guys coming up later on in the season. But delighted to have you on board.
Does that mean we have to be nice to Spurs tonight? We can't slag Spurs or anything tonight.
We're never usually too bad on Spurs. We're never usually too bad on Spurs anyway, as long as it's
as long as we're not playing them.
Yeah, well, we're usually not nice to anyone we're playing, you know. So that's we're an equal opportunities instigator, or whatever the word is I'm trying to look for here. We hate everybody equally. We love everybody equally as well at the same time. Yeah.
I actually applied for tickets for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today because my New York Giants are playing there in October. So we'll see.
Your New York Jets are playing there in New York. Well, see, that's how much of a fan you are, Benny.
Yeah. Any excuse, Neil. Any excuse.
Yeah. I had this. I knew what actually just completely tangential there in the NFL schedules that my Cleveland Browns schedule was released, and I was crossing my fingers that maybe I might be able to do 2 home games before I've got a big date coming up in October, which would stop me from flying. But no, won't be able to do it. Too close. So look, and you know what? Villa Park is a lot closer, so it just means I'll be able to get over there an awful lot more in the autumn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's look at a few comments that we have here. Ben, good to see you. Hoping for a big win tonight, but more than anything, I just want to see Jack. I have an inkling if he plays, he starts and comes off like he did when he returned to the championship, but we'll see. I'm kind of with Paddy on this one. All the breadcrumbs are lining up that he's going to be on the bench, I would say, and be brought on at some stage. But look, miracles do happen, and you never know, you might see him. But it's great just to see him. I think even just seeing him togged out will be a big boost for Aston Villa and for the fans alike. I just hope that we don't see people screaming like 10 minutes into the game of "Get Jack on, get him on," because that's
that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's exactly what could happen. Yeah, you're dead right. Wow, look at all the people that are watching. I can't believe this. I think we might hit 100, Paddy. I think
everybody's in work or they have nothing else to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Productivity levels gone through the floor. But no, as long as you're here, that's all that matters. Mark says Davis to start meetings. I think so. I think it's logical. I think it's the most rational explanation for who's going to play up front. And we've got under 3 minutes to find out. Mark also says Jack will be on the bench 10-15 minutes tonight and then start against Palace. I think Dean Smith is picking his fights and battles for when to use Jack Grealish before the end of the season. Obviously, it would be great to have him back for Palace, making sure, I think he's got a duty of care to Jack Grealish as well when we're not in a massive fight for stability within the league. I think he's got a duty of care to Jack Grealish as well to maybe, not overplay him and risk injury to him as well, which would be great. Just going to move that over there because there's a big glare on my screen. Lewis says, good evening, Neil and Paddy. Have you calmed down after United? I don't think we'll ever calm down after any United game. We only ever just simmer down slightly. It was some rant. Paddy, do you know what? I was getting loads of direct messages and WhatsApp and everything. Write this one down. On the 13th of May at 16:58, I'm going to praise Paddy. Paddy, I got some amount of direct messages from people telling me, God, Paddy went on some rant, but it was all sense, and I agree with him 100%. So, fair play, Paddy. And in fairness, what you did say was it was factual, amusing, articulate, and it was delivered in splendid fashion. So fair play to you. Yeah,
first time for everything. Exactly. I was amusing and articulated in splendid fashion too. Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Paddy's just got.
I just said New York Giants instead of New York Jets. I think that's a lot.
That's it. Couple of other ones here. Cornelius and all lads, be a hard game, completely different to Goodison. Barkley will start. I think I'd like to see Ramsey getting a game too. He's going to be a player for us. Absolutely. I can see the two Ramsey brothers tearing it up for Aston Villa for years to come, because I think both of them are different players, but both of them are exactly what you need in a modern day midfield. I think with goal scoring and kind of and a great passer of the ball in there. Absolutely. With the Brazilian contingent are in again as well. Connor's here too. Fair play to you,
Connor.
Interesting comments from Dino in the presser. Young players have to earn the right to get on the bench, then earn the right to get on the pitch. He doesn't believe in just handing out debuts. That's something I think we'll get into in a podcast coming closer to the end of the season. It is an interesting comment for sure, but I think we might have news, and we do have news. Everybody, we have a team sheet. And I'm just going to share it up here and let's discuss it. I haven't seen it. I've clicked on it, but I haven't seen it. It takes forever to load.
No big shocks.
No big shocks. Excellent. Keenan Davis is there. So Martinez, right back, Cash, Konza Mings in the centre and Target at left back. McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Barkley, El Ghazi, Davis, Traore. Absolute chalk. That's.
And on the bench.
On the bench. So on the bench is little known kid who's, I think it was his grandfather, it might have been his great grandfather, hailed from County Galway. Here I think it was, he certainly was County Galway here in Ireland, and it's Jack Grealish. So yes. You may have heard of him.
And also in big news, we have 3 of our under 18/23s on the bench. Yeah, and a homegrown centre forward as well. So there's a lot to be positive here about.
Absolutely.
I'd love to see Jack make an appearance at some stage. I'd also love to see Carney get on there and rip it up against Everton. I just think that would make my day. I think I think he's long overdue this run. So fingers crossed.
You know the way, Paddy, I was always on board for 5 substitutions. I don't think I ever said I hated it, and I never, ever, ever once, never, ever at all. And no matter what you heard me say before, I never meant it when I said that 5 substitutions would ruin the league. I would love to. Oh, I need to get rid of those. I would love to have 5 substitutions tonight because regardless of the result, I think wouldn't it be amazing to see a game with Jack Grealish, Philogene Bidace, Carney Chukwuemeka, Keenan Davis, and Jacob Ramsey all on the field at the same time, all homegrown players, all players that that have come up through the academy. That would be some signal of intent, I think, for Aston Villa, and it would just be nice to see. But look, platitudes and stuff like that don't come into tonight's game. That's just me being a little sentimental kind of fool, but it would be nice to see something like that. Let's go to a couple of comments there. I'm actually going to remove the team, and then we look and see what Everton have up their sleeve for us. But let's look at a few comments there. Macadamia says, oh yeah, we mentioned that just there previously. Where were we? Paddy talks a lot of sense. I can't put that up on the screen. He won't be able to fit his head in the screen after that.
Is that 2 in one podcast?
That's 2 in one podcast. This is a disaster. I think I'm going to have to Paddy, whatever you're paying him, I'll double it. Mark Cattersley says steer up front. Why not? If he can stare down Mason Holgate, I don't even know if Holgate's playing, but if he can stare down Mason Holgate up there again, I'd pay for it there. Sorry there, lads. The comments aren't really loading. But Paul Crombie mentions that he's more excited for the semi-final tomorrow. Little piece on that later on, guys. We might have something coming up later on. It won't be on this, but watch out on Twitter. We might see if we can get something together for that as well. James Hendicott, great to see you, James. James was a guest on the podcast here, and I'm going to plug his book. I don't know if it's still in circulation at the moment. I'm sure it is. Why would you take it out of circulation? It's absolutely excellent. James wrote a superb book on Khalifa. It's teams that aren't recognized, countries that aren't recognized within the world, and countries within countries that aren't recognized. And James went and did a great book on a World Cup that they hold for themselves, and it's an absolutely unbelievable read. It's really, really interesting. So, James, I will continue to plug that book because it's one of my favorite reads. And I'll be honest with you, I don't sit down with books too often. I'm more of an audiobook kind of a guy, but that one was definitely worth it. So anyway, I'm probably making you blush at home, James. But James says he wants to see Chukwuemeka as a sub appearance tonight. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know how probable it is, given this, with regards to how tight tonight's game is, but I think we all just want to see Carney Chukwuemeka come on. And number one, I want to see commentators absolutely petrified at having to pronounce his name the whole time. But secondly, I think everybody just wants to see what he can actually do, because he's the physique of a man. And when you see him play in the under 18s, and he's not even 18 yet, I don't think. When he plays in the under 18s, he's physically bigger, better, stronger. So let's see what he can do against fully grown men. I think that's going to be really, really interesting.
Those 3 guys that we mentioned, they still qualified to play tomorrow night, don't they?
They do.
We might not see them unless absolute necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed Walsh says, hoping for a good showing from Davis tonight. Quite skeptical about his long-term hopes of that. I think that's fair enough to be skeptical. I think it is, considering that if you ask any Aston Villa fan, where do you want to strengthen in the summer? Up front, wingers. Once again, sentiment goes out of it from that point of view. But I want him to do well. I want him to do well tonight. I want him to do well for the next 4 or 5 games and just see where his future lies. Because too many times has a player kind of, either gotten a raw deal, maybe at a Premier League club, and then just seen his future kind of spiral. But I don't think Keenan Davis is that type of guy. I think he's somebody that can grow through it. But a couple more goals would be absolutely great for him. And who's to say we don't hold on to him and maybe sign him up and loan him out again? Loan him out for the first time, because he's never even gotten that in his development, which I think would be important for him. Barry Robertson, I hope we play one defensive midfielder again, allow it to be 4-1-4-1. If they play Gomez and Allen again, they do like static central defensive midfielders. So McGinn and Barkley for me, and maybe in the Campbell clearing up at the back. I think that was before we before the team sheet came out. But I'm very much in agreement with you on that as well. I think we are, Gomez and Allen. If we played them perfectly the last day, and we kind of kept them back and we curtailed them from coming forward. What are your views on that, Paddy?
Well, I think the most important thing here is to look at the Everton team, because there's a few changes in there that could dictate how we played it through that midfield. Do you want me to run through it?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot we were actually playing another team there for a while. Do run through it there. It'll be quicker than me trying to bring it up here.
Yeah. Well, this guy has them set up as a 4-4-2 with Pickford in goal, Dean left back, Holgate right back, Keane and Godfrey in the middle. Bit skeptical of whether that's how they will line up or not. Then it's Sigurdsson, Decore, Allen, and Coleman. So to me that's a 5/3 at the back, and then Richarlison in front of that midfield and Calvert-Lewin up front. So Decore wasn't even involved the last day, sure he wasn't.
Decore wasn't. No, he's just come back from injury. And I don't like to see him there, because he's a lot better at that role than Andre Gomez is. Like, it sounds crazy to say they've got Andre Gomez on the bench, and like Portuguese international played with Barcelona, so it sounds crazy to say, but here's their team. Even looking at their bench, I think that's a 3-5-2, or that's a 3 at the back all day long for me.
I think so. Yeah,
3 at the back all day long.
Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing here anyway.
And it'll double up as a 5 if they've got to contend with Jack Grealish later in the game, I presume.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is. Godfrey, Keane, Holgate. Absolutely, it's 3 at the back for sure. Yeah. Dean and Coleman as the wing backs. Decore and Allen probably sitting there. Sigurdsson then playing in behind Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. That's probably the way they're going to line up. Like,
so that will change how we attack through the middle, I would imagine. It's going to make the midfield very congested. They're going to try and keep the ball wide and keep the ball out of that midfield zone. I would imagine we're always that way. We're always attacking down the wing. So there might be very little change to be got in there for the likes of John McGinn. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting for sure.
It will be. They've got a strong bench. Delph, Gomez, Tom Davies, Iwobi, Bernard, Josh King, Nkunku as well. They've got a strong bench. Like, that bench is the difference between. That's where we want to be an extra with a really, really strong bench. Not to say that our bench isn't strong at the moment, but that's strong with experience as well as just physically growing up people. So yeah, interesting, and that's not to denigrate any of the young players that we have on the bench. I'm as excited about that as anybody else, but it shows the difference in I suppose in where the teams are in their development and their building.
They're there a long time building that squad, so they're always going to have a stronger bench and a lot more depth.
Mark has said as well, congratulations to the ladies team for staying up too. Absolutely. I think we covered that in one of our podcasts. The youth team are flying it. Ladies football, first team all moving forward. Lee is an avid listener. Let's get that goal from a corner so we can have a musical sensation to look forward to. Yeah, rendition of Sweet Caroline will be sang on the podcast if we score from a corner at any stage this season. I do it once. I'm not doing it for every time we score from a corner, though. I've only said I'll do it once. NACL official says, love these guys, knows their stuff and good sense of humor. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's really nice to hear. I don't know whether we try to have a good sense of humor or whether we just end up making a balls of it sometimes.
Or we just laugh at ourselves, Neil.
Whether we're just laughing at ourselves. But look, it's that's great to hear. Thank you so much, and thanks along with everybody for watching in. Carl O'Neill, big night for Davis for me. Would love Big West to score before the season finishes too. Absolutely, that would be dream stuff. If we could get like a 3-0 win tonight, Davies with the first, Jack Grealish comes on, scores, and then crosses one in for Big Wes. I think that would make absolutely everybody happy tonight. For sure. Let's have a look at some more of these. So Cornelia, I read that one out already. Stephen Fay, do you reckon no matter what the score, Grealish gets 20-25 minutes? Dino doesn't like us up before 80 most weeks. What do you think, Paddy? Do you think it's a given we will see Jack Grealish tonight?
I don't think it is, no. I think if he has the option of giving him another few days, he might give it to him. Another few days could mean a start at the weekend. But, I think if we're chasing this game, or if it's all square going into the last 20-25 minutes, I think we see him then, yeah. That's just my reckoning on it. Hopefully it's not the case. Hopefully we're ahead. Yeah. we can bring him on and just put a bit of juice in the legs and see how he is.
Yeah. I think we all really, really want to see him. That's why I gave you that question and I didn't answer it myself, because I didn't really want to answer it, because I want to see him. Just as simple as that. Who else we have? Lloyd, good to see you. Can't wait to see Jack come on. Love the podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for listening. We are honored that all of you listen in at any given time, so thanks so much for that. And like you, we can't wait to see Jack come on, even though Paddy doesn't think, maybe Paddy's saying it here, Paddy doesn't think he's going to come on at all, so go and annoy Paddy on Twitter.
No, I think there's a very good unless we're winning, I think, or winning at a canter, then he will come on. So if we're 2 or 3 up, I think he'll come on. If we're winning 2-1 or 1-0, I think they might leave him there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Mac makes a good point here. Everyone in midfield much stronger today. Yeah, I think they are, with Alan and Doucouré in there. I think they're physically stronger and probably better from a tactical point of view. Tom is not convinced Keelan is good enough, but I really want him to prove me wrong. You know what? And that's absolutely a fair point to have. I think a lot of people are in that. A lot of people are hoping for the kid. Sorry. If someone could go back in time there and smack me in the face for calling him a kid, I think that's sorry for being patronizing. I hate that. But I know where you're coming from on that one, Tom. He's, I think everybody wants him to do well. But we understand that potentially there could be reinforcements coming in that area as well.
I think everybody's just a little bit skeptical, and that's fair enough, given the unfair record is thrown about too easy for me, considering the minutes he's actually played. So I'm excited for him to get a start. I think it's his chance to show us, and I think we'll see another side to him tonight, because he's going to be sent out to do the job that Ollie Watkins does, and we've seen him do it for 15-20 minutes. The question now is, can he do it for 60-70? Because I think if he does, he'll run out of gas himself. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Kevin Hunter. Kevin was on our Paddy's Day podcast as well. Right. So steering for Heaton. Completely missed that. Yeah. Good. Done deal to United. There's no smoke without fire. There is no smoke without fire. I do wish him well as well. He was. I think this. I don't have the stats to hand, but from memory, his stats were outstanding. Before he got injured against Burnley,
I wouldn't be too sure that's the reason. The reason being, he's available on a free. He's still our player. So unless it's a little bit of Dino patting him on the back and saying, "Look, we don't want you going over there with an injury. We'll see you out for the rest of the season." I can't see that being the case. So for me, maybe he picked up a knock or something, because
it's to bring Steer on up front. It's to bring Steer on up front. We said that as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Look who's in. Dan Bardell. Good to see you, Dan. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Jack is back. Indeed, Jack is back. And for those of you who don't know, and this was once again, what am I doing? I'm so patronizing in this podcast. I was going to just explain who Dan Bardell is there. Who the fuck needs any explanation who Dan Bardell is? He's just Mr. Villaview. That's a Dan Bardell is. But actually, guys, you can catch me. I'm going to be on the Villaview as well after the game this evening as well, with Ty Bracey and Dan Bardell. So pop in for a chat. Pop in. I'm moonlighting again. Yeah. Look, I'll do anything not to have to do the washing up. Not to have to wash up the dishes after the dinner. I'll do absolutely anything. So I'm on my media. I've got a couple of media hours, is what I termed it, Flo. So it's you get away with anything here when you term it as media hours. But no, as always, thanks to the lads for asking me to pop on. I'm only just too happy to talk about Man United. Brendan Townsend's money is on Barkley to score.
Me too.
Damn the two of you. Now I'm going to have to put money on him to score for...
Well, you see, every week I have put a bet on Ollie Watkins to score a hat-trick. So tonight I've no bet for the first time all season. So I think I'm going to put it on Barkley to score.
Go for it. If you put it on Barkley to score, that means I don't have to. So
it's not like I can put it on Keenan to score a hat-trick. Jesus, I think I'll do a little jig on the podcast. I shouldn't be doing that now.
Paddy, if you do, and if Keenan does score a hat-trick, will you pay off my mortgage as well? Afterwards.
See, that's the thing. I'm going to have to put it on now, because if it comes up and I didn't put it on, I won't be in good form later on when we record the review.
I know. Paul Crombie says Ancelotti had only a 14% win rate against Villa. That's an amazing statistic. Like, considering one of the best football managers of the last 25, 30 years. Jeez. You know? Probably 25 years. We play him? Well, there's Paddy. Stats don't lie. They can be manipulated, but they don't lie. It's still only 40. Well, if it's a 14% win rate, that means we would have had to play Carlo Ancelotti more than 8 times. No, more than 8 times. There's my honors match coming into play there. Who else do we have? Mark Kinsler, good to see you, Mark. Do you have concerns over our form? I think we're playing okay, but it's important we have a strong finish to carry into next season. The depth of the squad needs to be addressed in the summer, as we need to be able to absolutely 100%. And I think that follows on from what I mentioned about Everton's bench. You know, I think we want to be in that position, obviously, with a couple of more youth players maybe sprinkled in there, but absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And, you know, you have to be kind of concerned over the form to a point, but the context, I think, for my concern over the form, or for our form, doesn't kind of bring me towards concern. I think what it brings me towards is a team. Like, there's the context for me is COVID. It is the lack of squad depth at times. You know, I think it's a lot more nuanced than Dean Smith can't get the best out of players. I think that's kind of where I come down. I know Mark isn't suggesting that here at all in any shape or form, but you know, that's kind of where I come down at, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong. You know, but I don't know.
I don't have any concern. I think since we played Everton, I thought we've looked very strong. So hopefully the idea that Jack is on the bench tonight now will push on. The likes of El Ghazi and Traore will be looking over their shoulder, I think, from very early in this game.
Paddy, Del Boy has set you up here. Yorkshireman in charge tonight, Mr. Martin Atkinson, and we all have. What's your views on Martin Atkinson quickly? In under 15 minutes, what's your views on Martin Atkinson?
I'll give it to you in less than 5 seconds. He's not the worst. Not the worst.
That's okay.
You know, I'm a big believer in talking to players. I think he does talk to players, but he's not the worst referee out there. I think he's quite consistent. So we're expecting a good VAR decision against us tonight, aren't we?
Well, hopefully. It would be great to do the double, you know. Aston Villa traditionally, well, in the last 10 years, haven't done the double over many teams, bar Arsenal this year, you know. It's been rare that we've done the double over teams. And to be able to say we've done the double over 2 teams in the top 10, top 6 at the moment, top 7 at the moment would be absolutely fantastic. You know, I'd be delighted to see it. There was a Dekamoto. Are you worried about Everton's away form? Everton are 15th best at home, but 4th best away.
Yeah.
It's been huge, and isn't it just mad this season, Paddy, that the home and away thing still rings true when fans aren't in the stands? Isn't it amazing the way the psyche of a professional footballer, even the travel, the unfamiliar surroundings, the unfamiliar dressing room, it must all have such an effect. I think there will be fascinating results come from psychoanalysis throughout the course of this year, and if I don't know, I think there's some sports science place in Loughborough or somewhere like that over in the UK. If they aren't doing a study on this, then they've missed the boat big style, because you'll never get an opportunity to do a study on professional footballers or professional teams with no adrenaline rush from the crowd like this again. So it'd be really fascinating to see what comes out. You
can be absolutely sure, having spent some time in the sports science department in Loughborough, you can be rest assured there's somebody studying this, because the stuff they do there is phenomenal. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of clubs. It just smacks of a bit of complacency at home. I think Everton is a prime example to be just a little bit more complacent than they are away from home. They just seem to be more up for it. So, it'll be an interesting report to read when it does come out.
Absolutely, for sure. Dean, I can't scream this one out because I left my door open. But yeah, fuck the washing up. I'm 100% with you on that one. I'm 100% with you on that one. Betfair, Betfair gave us to score 3 or more, 200-1. The same as Louis Barry, and Louis Barry isn't even playing.
He's not even in the squad.
Well, I want him to score now for that scurrilous behaviour from Betfair.
Okay. I've got to go and put this bet on now. I'm guessing.
Absolutely. I think, you know what, we're going to leave you guys to it because it's coming up to 22 minutes past 5 and obviously everybody wants to get settled before the game. Last question for you, Paddy. Oh no, I lost it. Where's the content? There it is. And it's the important question. What are you having for dinner?
I actually don't know. Oh, sorry. I'm having pie and chips for dinner.
Pie and chips. There you go. Match day staple. I
don't know what pie it is, but it's a pie and chips.
It's pie and chips. Yeah, absolutely. I'm having yesterday's lasagna reheated again. Yeah, so I don't know. Actually, yeah. Do this. No, I won't even go and ask that question because it's too silly. Right, I did say I was giddy at the start of this podcast, lads. I think
you're perfectly entitled to that. We've got our Jack back, and hopefully we get to see him in full flow. But I'm more excited for Keenan Davis tonight. I think this is a huge opportunity for him, not only on the pitch, but to show the armchair supporters at home what he's capable of. So I really, really hope that he gets stuck in from the start.
Absolutely. And sorry, Kieran, you're going to have to watch it back again. But he's just switched on and we're just finishing up.
Sorry, Kieran.
Should have been on time. That's it. I know. Thanks, William, for watching in as always. And I saw that Ben has some good news as well, or had some big news on what he's going doing as well. Fair play. Great follow as well. B6 Ben. Guys, thanks so much for listening in and watching in. Should I say, everybody? We're going to go and get settled before the game. As I said, thanks for everything you do for the podcast, all the listens, all the interaction. This is great. It's my favorite part of the week, to be honest, which is coming on doing the team sheet tantrum, because we get so many great questions, and I feed off everybody else's energy inside here. So this is fantastic, and thanks so much for everything. We've both gone for a 2-1 win tonight, I think, in our preview, and I'm going to stick with my 2-1 win. I feel good about tonight, and I feel good about Aston Villa in general. So let's see what happens, and all that's really left to say, guys, is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.